With batch tracking now enabled for your items, materials, and products, if you've imported new items and you've actually put in initial stock quantities for those new items that you just imported, there's going to be a variety of them in stock that don't currently have allocated batch assignments or batch numbers to that new material or product. Or in the case that you are simply changing by updating existing materials and products to be batch trackable, you'll still have the same situation where any stock that already exists in your account has an unbatched quantity for a batch trackable item. So all of the items that are in your inventory that are batch trackable and unbatched should have a batch number assigned to them eventually. So how do you solve that type of problem? Well, firstly, the simple way inside of the application is to use a stock adjustment. This is best for one-offs, but I think the main important goal for me is to show you how to do it in the application so you understand that when you do it in the import, what's actually happening behind the scenes. So let's take a look at our stock screen here, and we have our batch quantities. So what I want to give an overview of here is that if we're checking out this Brazilian roasted coffee, I've got a very simple one here, a BRZ PCK 250 unbatched, and there's 1 unit of unbatched. But maybe there's an issue where that is actually part of batch 003, which is located here. So same coffee, but it has a batch number. This one doesn't. So this is the main problem we're trying to solve. How do I get those allocated quantities to the correct batch number? So if you know, then it's simple. We'll go in here, we'll create a stock adjustment. And this is the idea of removing from the unbatched quantities and applying to the batched quantities. So when you actually import your stock for your batch numbers, then you'll be able to understand how the system converts any remaining quantities from unbatched to batched quantities. So let's start here, BRZ 250, and we're going to remove 1 unit of unbatched quantities. So here you have the quantity where you put in -1, and then we choose the batch number, which is unbatched, for example, and we choose confirm. So we basically removed 1 unbatched quantity from existing stock, and then we'll add a new row down here below, and we'll put in BRZ 250, and then we'll add 1 unit back into inventory. And this time we'll match it to the correct batch, batch 003, and choose confirm. So basically what's happening is when we do the import process for assigning batch numbers to existing stock of batch trackable items, we need to remove the unbatched quantities and then give them the correct total number of stock, but the correct batch number quantities that they are applied to. And that's basically it. So once we go back to our batches screen, you'll see that the unbatched quantity for the 250 is no longer there, but batch 003 now has 10 pieces in stock instead of the previous 9. So in the case that you have the existing quantities that are not currently batch trackable, then you can import the batch numbers to those quantities. Let's take a quick look at an example that we have here on the stock screen for our batches. And you can see that at our main location, we have, in this account, I have 2 locations, but at our main location, we have some Brazilian roasted coffee packs in the 1 kilogram package, 60 units that are presently unbatched. So if, for example, we wanted to assign either an existing batch number or a new batch number, just so it's clear, you can assign an existing batch number to an item just as well as you could assign a new batch number to an item when using this import. So this is totally okay. Again, if you're adopting the information to be brought over into your Katana account, you probably already have an existing batch number. Maybe it's applied to other items, but you just need to get the quantities over correctly. Or maybe it already exists in real life, but it doesn't exist in the system. In that case, you'll create a new batch number. So it's just a simple process of allocating X number of units to a specific batch label. Simple as that. So let's go through the process and I'll show you how that works. So on the data import, you'll have something down here called add new batch and lot numbers. Of course, this is available on the advanced and above subscription plans. So in case you don't presently have an advanced subscription or above, you need to activate it. So we'll download the data. This will pull up your existing list of items that are batch trackable, but presently unbatched. Or actually, it'll pull up all of your existing batch trackable items, but it will break it down by location. So for example, what you need to pay attention to are unbatched quantities for any existing products or materials. And what you also need to pay attention to are any of those items that actually have stock. So currently there's only one item, which is this, and it's the 1 kilogram coffee containers. As you can see here, I'll expand it so you can see more clearly. Brazilian roasted coffee, 1,000. And here is the name, 1 kilo. Now, even though it's referenced at this location, even though it's referenced at our second location, which is called the furniture crafting location, there's presently no stock there, so it's not something we have to worry about. And since these are listed as 0, they're not important either. What's important is that you need to do something about this unbatched quantity by providing a batch number for it. So let's just say that these are all part of batch 003. So we'll go in here, we'll type batch -003. So we've given it a batch assignment because it was previously unbatched. So it's literally quite simple. It's just a label called unbatched. But Katana is providing you this visible information that says this is the quantity of unbatched items that need a batch number. And then you're simply going in here and adjusting that information and uploading it. So this is batch number 6. We'll go ahead and save it, and we'll import it back into our Katana account. And I'll show you what just happened here. Data import, upload. Here it is, and we'll choose open. So it skipped a couple of things because obviously those weren't updates. We only made one change, so only one will be processed during the import. Ta-da, we're done. So remember, we just added 60 units to batch 003. What does that look like? We'll go to the batches screen, and we're going to see here that there are now 60 units of 1 kilogram assigned 60 pieces to batch 003. The total quantity of inventory stays the same. It's just that we take an unbatched quantities and put them into batch 3, and now they're trackable. Now, if we look at what that actually did during the import process, is it actually created a stock adjustment. And you can see it right here when I make it wider. Excel batches import. And what does that mean? It means exactly what we did earlier. It took out 60 from the unbatched quantity and it added them into batch 003. The total adjustment is 0 in real life. The total quantity of those items is still 60 units. It's just now that minus 60 on the unbatched quantities and then plus 60 on the batch quantities. Super simple, but that's how it works. And if you ever need to better understand it, this video will be the good source of reference to understand the logic of allocating batches.